Thank you. Good evening. My name is Susan Davis, and my husband Barry and I have been parishioners here at St. Paul of the Cross for 10 years. As I was called by God to lecture here in the Holy Family Chapel 9 years ago, I was asked one Sunday after Mass if I'd like to share my story of where work meets faith. So here I am. I'm a commercial loan officer at a major bank in downtown Chicago, and have worked in asset-based lending since graduating from college in the late 80s. My journey began at a young age as my parents always taught my brother and I that to be hopeful and patient and let God mold our lives. And as a result, I followed God's plan for my life as I was led to major in the field of finance while I studied at Florida State University. I originally majored in computer science as I thought my skills in both math and science would be a good field for me to enter. And as well, my mom was a computer systems analyst. However, after 1 year in college, I was struggling with my decision. I didn't feel that I was using my interpersonal skills as to the best of my abilities. So, praying faithfully and looking for God's guidance for what would be my best talents and how I could use those, I thought that math was my strong suit, and the School of Business, possibly that would be something I could look into. So I had taken classes, core classes, different, whether it be finance, investments, accounting, and I decided that I thought that would be the best to enter into the School of Business. So I was accepted in the School of Business and graduated with a degree in finance. And I took my first job as a commercial lender, and that was stayed in Florida. And I was working for a pretty big bank. Just coming out of college, it was a little nervous. But I continued to have faith and know that this was something that I felt comfortable with and just felt that was suited my talents. I've moved 3 times in my career, and living in South Florida for most of my life, I took a job in Atlanta, which was not too far away, but away from family. But I felt that there was opportunities and God had opened doors for me, and that was to move to Atlanta. And the time that I was working for this, it was a finance company. I met my husband at the time. He was living in Santa Monica, California. We worked for the same company. Another sign that I thought, here's God leading me to my future husband. So one of us needed to move, and I made the decision, move to California. So moved to California, lived in Santa Monica. We were married there in our Catholic church, and both still working in the finance industry. And then moved to Chicago through another opportunity, through work. And just going through these different moves was very challenging, but felt that being prayerful, faithful, and just knowing that God has a plan for us. So we both moved to Chicago. It's been 10 years now, and since that time, I've been through 2 financial, let's call them economic downturns, or crises. And we both, understanding each other's business, it wasn't easy. However, felt that helping my customers through difficult time was something that was very humbling to me. And for instance, one of our customers, they had lost a significant amount of business because of the downturn in the economy, and had lost a considerable amount of business from their top customers, and therefore couldn't meet the covenants that we had with them at the bank. And by working with the company very closely and opportunistically felt that they could have needed assistance. And so we recommended a financial consultant to help them. That was a consultant who had a considerable amount of expertise in their industry. And so they were able to streamline some of their operations, which helped them increase their gross profit margins, which benefited the company. They were able to keep several hundred people employed, and as they are today, they're doing much better, and they have been a customer for 9 years with the bank. So I think that by working with the company and using my skills and talents to help them, it's very humbling to be able to help people just like you and I be able to keep their jobs and stay as a customer with the bank. And that's just one example of over the 10 years plus that I've been in Chicago, that I feel that working with the clients closely, understanding what their needs are, has really benefited both the company and the bank. Some tips that I would share with you as far as my particular position or the industry that I'm in, it's commercial lending, which there's a specialized industry called asset-based lending, and we provide working capital lines of credit to many different sized businesses, mainly middle market companies, and we make working capital lines of credit. We advance against their accounts receivable and inventory to keep them current with their bills, and it's just one of the tips that we have as far as this is a type of lending we have. One of the things we're looking for these particular companies is you have audited financial statements, very good books and records, and a very strong management team. So, anyone have any questions?
When you say a strong management team, who is the person that you most work with? And what makes that person be strong?
I work closely with the CEO or president, as well as the CFO, Chief Financial Officer. And I'd say as far as strong, their character and their acumen for their understanding their business, as well as their financial side of the business for as far as the CFO.
Is there a better business climate for your kind of business around Chicago compared to California?
You know, I'd say from a manufacturing perspective, yes, because of the industries that are here in the Midwest, versus California would be more on the service side. But we do have offices out in California that are asset-based as well. Yes.
How'd you become a lector?
Well, I think that listening to the priests ask us to look within ourselves to see how we can give back and use our talents within church is how I became a lector.
Do you think that the faith aspect of your life, is it something that you consciously feel in your day-to-day interactions with people, or is it a little bit more, I guess for lack of a better term, subliminal?
I think part of my wiring.
Okay.
Honestly, I think that growing up, have faith, hope, and trust in God, and I think that's how I've tried to live my life. I think it's who I am.
Adding to that, when you and I spoke, what I was most impressed with was how at a young age you were putting God first. You were saying what is in mind for me. So that was a very conscious thing to do that.
think in high school, I had friends in different faiths, and that really was important to me and learned at an early age, along with my Catholic background.
Were your friends faithful as well?
Absolutely.
So you hung out with the faithful
Yes.
ones. That's great.
In the streamlining of these businesses, did you ever have the uncomfortable task of recommending a cutback for employment and things like that?
From my position, we can't make management decisions or recommendations such as that. However, the consultant that they hired, based on our recommendation of typically we recommend 3 consultants, this particular company, they try to, when I said streamline, make efficiencies, but try not to have to let people go.